Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Here are the top stories of the news. House of Representatives elect Minority Caucus rescind decision to present speakership and deputy speakership candidates. World Trade Organization Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala says Nigeria will struggle to develop and prosper if youths keep living. On the foreign scene, at least 3 people injured as Russian air attacks target Ukraine's capital. Good afternoon and welcome to Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. My name is Okwayemuni. The members-elect of the Minority Caucus of the 10th Assembly have rescinded their earlier decision to present candidates for the position of Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. This was made known by one of the spokesmen of the caucus, Afam Ogene, after a closed-door meeting in Abuja. The caucus, known as the Greater Majority, says after a period of time given to receive nominations and interest from its members, no member indicated interest to contest for the leadership of the House. It then urged the other members-elect of the 10th Assembly of the House of Representatives to join in the election of Tajuddin Abbas and Benjamin Kalu as Speaker and Deputy Speaker on the 13th of June 2023. The caucus added that its members will be united and focused on the primary responsibility of the minority parties in the 10th Assembly, which is to provide a vibrant and credible opposition in Parliament for the entrenchment of good governance. Former Governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yari, says he's still in the race for Senate President. A senator-elect spoke while addressing journalists on the sidelines of an induction ceremony of new and returning members of the National Assembly. The ruling party had nominated Godswill Akpabio and Jibrin Barau as President of the Senate and Deputy Senate President. Mr. Yari, however, said it is the right of any senator-elect to aspire to be a presiding officer of the upper legislative chamber. Elsewhere, Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has said young people will not be keen to relocate abroad if they can thrive in the country. The former finance minister spoke at the 2023 induction for re-elected and elected governors organized by the Nigerian Governors Forum. Dr. Okonjo-Iweala appealed to the governors to focus on nation building and invest in the infrastructure and education system of the respective states. She said Nigeria will struggle to develop and prosper if the youths keep leaving the country. She also asked the Nigerian governors to embrace reforms that lead to economic growth in their respective states, stating that the country faces challenges on the fiscal debt and monetary policy front. On the revenue side, the WTO DG said states have a substantial responsibility, adding that too few states are raising internally generated revenue of any significance.
I will come to the new word I've coined. Look, Japa, many Nigerians I want to Japa. We have, in the past 4 years, 50,000 young Nigerians with technical skills who have gone to Canada, just Canada alone. Another 20,000 are expected in 2022. The British have just given visas to 16,000 Nigerians. If the number mounts, we may lose 100,000 within the next year or two. And if we keep doing that, how are we going to build this country? Now, like I said in my speech, I am not telling young Nigerians not to go. No, this is a free country. You go. What we need to do is, I'm telling leaders to make the country more attractive so they can stay. So if you Japa, you will also Kappa. You will come back. That's my new word, Japa and then Kappa. I Japad and I Kappad to come and serve the country. So I'm encouraging young people to do that.
Elsewhere, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has declared a 5-day warning strike following the failure of the federal government to meet its demands. The resident doctors said the strike will commence on Wednesday, May 17th, and will end on May 22nd. This was the decision reached after its 6.5 hours extraordinary National Executive Council meeting held virtually. NAD had on April 29, 2023, issued a 2-week ultimatum to the federal government to meet its demands or face industrial disharmony. The ultimatum ended on Saturday, May 13, 2023. The doctors are demanding an immediate increment in the consolidated medical salary structure to the tune of 200% of the current gross salaries of doctors. The doctors also want the immediate withdrawal of the bill seeking to compel medical and dental graduates to render 5-year compulsory services in Nigeria before being granted full licenses to practice. In the meantime, Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige has kicked against the bill seeking to mandate medical and dental practitioners to practice for 5 years in Nigeria before relocating abroad. Senator Ngige spoke to journalists after a Federal Executive Council meeting yesterday. In April, an All Progressives Congress lawmaker from Lagos, Ganiyu Johnson, sponsored the bill seeking to amend the Medical and Dental Practitioners Act 2004 to address the brain drain in the health sector. Speaking on the bill, Senator Ngige described it as unworkable and like killing a fly with a sledgehammer. The minister added that the proposed law did not have his support and urged the legislature to look for other ways to curb the brain drain. While reacting to the planned industrial action by the National Association of Resident Doctors, Senator Ngige described the move as unnecessary, adding that the parent body of the association, the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, is already engaging with relevant government agencies on the issue. The Federal Executive Council has approved the establishment of 36 new private universities across the country following a memo presented by the Minister of Education. Briefing journalists after the special meeting presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Minister of Education Adamu Adamu said with the approval, there are now 72 private universities in the country. Mr. Adamu stated that the approval was given considering the importance of education in bolstering the economic fortunes of a country. On his part, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, said the Council also approved the universal implementation of Employee Compensation Act 2010. He explained that the law is operated by the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, noting that it is a replacement of the old Employee Compensation Act that was known as Workmen Compensation. A federal high court in Abuja has restrained the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, from publishing disclaimers over the youth service of the Enugu State Governor-elect, Peter Mbah. Justice Nyang Eko ruled that the corps should no longer publish the disclaimers to the effect that the NYSC certificate number issued to Mbah Peter Ndubuisi was not issued by the corps pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice for interlocutory injunction. Mr. Mbah's lawyer, Emeka Ozoani, brought the application asking the court to determine substantive issues of law and facts which disclosed reasonable cause of action against the NYSC and the Director of Corps Certification, Ibrahim Muhammad. The case has been adjourned to May 22nd.
The originating process itself summarily is complaining about our learned colleague, Barrister Peter Mbah, is complaining over the disclaimer of his NYSC certificate number A808297 that it was not issued to him, and this fact untrue. So he has approached the court asking for 20 billion damages for conspiracy and fraudulent misrepresentation of facts. He also felt that from the processes we filed, we have all his documentations during and after his NYSC. So what we have done now is that the court granted the first prayer in the interim injunction and the request and deferred the second prayer to the 22nd of May.
The Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi has explained that handcuffing any suspect before detention is standard procedure. He said this in response to an inquiry via his Twitter handle in which someone had questioned the police for handcuffing Afrobeat singer Seun Kuti, after he submitted himself and worked into the Lagos Police Command. Inspector General of Police Usman Baba had ordered Seun Kuti's arrest after a video of the musician assaulting a policeman surfaced online. You're watching Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. We'll be right back after this break.
The Berlin Conference of 1884 defined the configuration of Africa, which hitherto existed as a continent of multiple kingdoms and empires under native rulers. The conference, otherwise referred to as Congo Conference, regulated European colonization and trade in Africa as initiated by German leader Otto von Bismarck. The Berlin Conference is often called the scramble for and partitioning of Africa, as each of the imperial powers carved separate portions of the continent for themselves without recourse to racial and cultural identities and differences. 137 years after the Berlin Conference was held, Africa remains a legitimized playground for European nations that sought to exploit its wealth and resources and manipulate its human capital to promote trades and investments of Western powers. Western Spring Television identifies the Berlin Conference as a major event in history.
Welcome back on Spring News at 12. Now to the rest of our stories. A Nigerian chef, Hilda Baci Effiong, fondly called Hilda Baci, has become a national sensation after cooking non-stop for 100 hours in an attempt to break the world record. Hilda Baci has used over 100 different dishes since starting on Akuka at 4 p.m. on Thursday. Politicians and celebrities have been egging her on, as well as the energetic crowd watching her cook. The current record is 87 hours and 45 minutes set in Rewa, Central India, in 2019 by Indian chef Lata Tondon. However, Guinness World Record says it is reviewing the evidence before saying if she has broken the record.
Born to Mr. and Mrs. Effiong Baci in Akwa Ibom State, 27-year-old Hilda Baci had long been a huge lover of cooking, which according to her, she learned from her parents who were professional chefs with international awards. For years, Hilda Baci participated in different cooking competitions like the maiden edition of the Jollof Face-Off competition in 2021, where she made Nigerians proud by winning the competition and walking away with a grand prize of $5,000. After the competition in 2021, the next step for Ms. Baci was to break the Guinness Book of Record held by an Indian chef, Lata Tondon, where she spent 87 hours and 45 minutes cooking in Rewa, India in 2019. This Ms. Baci says she has been infatuated with since childhood. In this vein, she kickstarted the journey to break the record on Thursday at exactly 4 p.m. after she turned on a cooker and was to cook for 4 days non-stop. Reports also show that during the 4 days cooking streak, Ms. Baci is not expected to take coffee, stimulants, or any energy drink to boost her energy and bodily strength, as she must cook artificially. She is, however, allowed to eat food, drink water or fruit juice, and take glucose. The event, which is taking place at the Amo Gardens in Lekki, Lagos, and being live streamed on YouTube and other platforms, had in attendance several celebrities, including Nigerians who have defied the rain to cheer up. Some of the Nigerian celebrities who were seen at the venue include Tiwa Savage, Kate Henshaw, Shegun Johnson, Dremo, amongst others. After 63 hours of non-stop cooking, Ms. Hilda Baci got a call from the Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, with the Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, also present to support and also have a taste of one of the over 100 meals she had prepared.
Thank you all very much for coming out to support one of our own. Hilda, you are a great inspiration, you are a great motivator, and this is the Lagos Nigerian spirit that we're talking about. We will break that record by the grace of God. But with the ability it well. Remember that here in Lagos, we also broke the record of the largest number of cupcakes in the world. So you will also be doing another first for our country, for our state, and for your family.
Just before the cook-a-thon started, Ms. Bassey had told the media that this is an opportunity to tell some of the positive stories that come from Africa through the meals she'll be making. She further stated the attempt is also proof of the strength young people can exhibit with the right platform and support rather than indulging in illegalities. This indeed has spurred so many Nigerians like Dotun Ayeni, Grace Abi and Tofumi Adeyemi. They say after watching Ms. Bassey cook for days and the recognition she has gotten worldwide, now they believe anything is possible in life, hence they will stop limiting themselves.
Well, from my own perspective, I would say that she's doing really excellent, because instead of her going outside with the lack of economy that we are, bad economy, instead of her going outside to say, okay, well, let me do runs or something, she was like, she brought up that idea that, okay, let me be cooking.
Actually, she has inspired me in a lot of ways. Like, I love her strength. For the past 4 days cooking, I cannot try it too, but from the way she's doing, she's inspiring a lot of Nigerian ladies to be strong, and to, especially that of cooking. She's inspiring a lot of ladies to know how to cook properly, and to inform other people that outside Nigeria that we Nigerian ladies, we are strong. We're stronger than anything anyone can think of, and I love her spirit.
Yeah, she has given the inspiration to Nigeria and the whole entire world by telling us that there's nothing that is impossible. Her cooking a marathon for 4 days is not a joke. 96 hours, and her just having a break of 6 hours to rest, it is not a joke. She has inspired a lot of youth, a lot of Nigeria, that there's nothing that is impossible. If you've not tried something, you cannot say it is impossible.
Beautiful Miss Hilda Bassey will at 10 a.m. today finally break the world record, which has stood since 2019, to the delight of so many Nigerians.
57, 58, 59.
As at the time of filing these reports, Ms. Hilda Bassey had cooked for a record of 95 hours and still counting, making it difficult for anyone around the world to break the record with ease. Joseph Atewe, Western Spring Television News.
Chairperson Senate Committee on Aviation, Senator Biodun Olujimi, has expressed deep worries over the potential negative impact of a recent increase in airfares on the aviation industry. Senator Olujimi also cautioned that down-tooling amongst the aviation unions should be disallowed. She made these observations at the second edition of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria National Aviation Conference in Abuja. According to her, the aviation industry will suffer greatly if the heavy increase in airfares is allowed to continue. Senator Olujimi explained further that while there may be valid reasons for the increase in airfares, it is important to strike a balance so that more people can afford to travel by air and support the growth of the industry. The Consumer Price Index, which measures the rate of change in prices of goods and services, rose to 22.22% in April 2023, up from 22.04% in the previous month. The inflation rate data is contained in the latest report released by the National Bureau of Statistics. The April increase is the fourth consecutive surge in the country's inflation figure since the year began. Similarly, on a year-on-year basis, the headline inflation rate was 5.4 percentage points higher compared to the rate recorded in April 2022, which was 16.82%. Food inflation moved from 24.45% in March 2023 to 24.61% in April 2023. And now to the foreign scene. The Ukrainian capital, Kiev, has been targeted by further Russian air attacks, described by one official as exceptional in density. Ukraine said all 18 missiles were shot down and footage showed air defenses destroying targets over the city. Officials said at least 3 people were injured during the barrage, which used both drones and missiles. Russia has stepped up its air campaign in recent weeks ahead of an expected Ukrainian offensive in the south. In Africa, a police officer was killed during clashes between Senegalese security forces and supporters of opposition leader Ousmane Sonko in the southern town of Ziguinchor. The clashes occurred yesterday near Mr. Sonko's home, where he has been staying while vowing to defy any summons to appear in court for a rape trial. Supporters have surrounded his home since last week, fearing police would move to arrest him and bring him to court. A statement from the Senegalese Interior Ministry said a police officer was accidentally hit by a vehicle during the violence. Reports say security has been tightened in the capital, Dakar, ahead of the resumption of Mr. Sonko's rape trial today. He was charged based on a woman's accusations that he assaulted her when she worked at a massage salon 2 years ago. Mr. Sonko and his allies denied the charges and say they are a ploy to bar him from contesting the 2024 presidential election. He was handed a 6-month suspended sentence on the 8th of May for defaming tourism minister named Mame Mbaye Niang in a review of initial 2-month term. Amnesty International says the number of executions recorded globally in 2022 was the highest in 5 years as several Middle Eastern states ramped up their use of the death penalty. According to the group's annual review, a total of 883 people are known to have been put to death across 20 countries, marking a rise of 53% compared to 2021. Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt alone carried out 90% of those executions. The figures exclude China, which is thought to execute thousands each year. Data on the death penalty is classified in China, which Amnesty said impaired its ability to make an accurate assessment about the numbers put to death in the country. The group was also able to confirm that executions were carried out in North Korea, Vietnam, Syria, and Afghanistan, but there was insufficient information to provide credible minimum figures. According to Amnesty's report, Iran and Saudi Arabia were mainly responsible for the sharp increase in known executions worldwide last year. Welcome to sports. The Lone Stars of Sierra Leone will entertain the Super Eagles in their 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match day 5 encounter at a neutral venue. This is as a result of a Confederation of African Football's failure to approve a stadium in the country for the qualifier. The Lone Stars have played all their home games in the qualifiers in Morocco. John Kester's men will host the Super Eagles on June 18, 2023. The Super Eagles need just a point from the game to make it to the competition. Curtis Jones scored twice as informed Liverpool brushed aside Leicester to maintain their recent winning streak and push the Foxes closer to Premier League relegation. Jurgen Klopp's side have won their past 7 games to bolster their push for a top 4 finish and now lie a point behind Newcastle and Manchester United, though haven't played a game more. Another dismal loss for Leicester leaves the 2016 Premier League champions firmly rooted in danger in 19th position, 2 points adrift of safety with only 2 games remaining.
6-7 weeks ago, I didn't believe it can happen. What we lacked at the time was obviously consistency, and there was only one chance for us to get in a situation we are in and winning pretty much all the football games, and that's what we had to do. It's crazy, but that's the situation we were in. So, yeah, that's good. We knew that before the game, if we win, we are qualified for Europe, for European League, which is absolutely great from where we are coming from. All the rest is not in our own hands, but we know we have to win all the games until the end of the season to have a chance. So said it now a couple of times, I think pretty sure. Yes, probably United and Newcastle are not watching us, are confident it's all fine, but we were in similar situations, and you wish anyway that the opponent just is losing, and you have that off your shoulder, that kind of pressure off the shoulder, and our job is to keep the pressure. But again, it's not likely, but if not, then this is already better than we could have expected 6-7 weeks ago.
We're all supporters in here. We all support football clubs, and you want to see your football club winning. We got beat tonight by a team who I thought physically overran us when they got the 2-goal lead. They're a physically strong team, but supreme athletes, really good players. And I wouldn't question our fight today. I wouldn't question our attitude. But I certainly understand, and we all should hear as supporters, if you're losing 2-0 or 3-0 at home and you're fighting a relegation battle, I understand why fans will react in certain ways.
Do you still believe you can stay up?
Yeah, of course I do. And I'd be stupid if I sat here and said no.
Nick Kyrgios has withdrawn from the 2023 French Open due to the same knee injury, which ruled him out of January's Australian Open. Kyrgios underwent surgery in January for the injury and missed all 3 ATP 1000 clay court events in the lead up to his Roland Garros withdrawal. Before we end the news, here's a recap of our top stories. The members-elect of the Minority Caucus of the 10th Assembly have rescinded their earlier decision to present candidates for the position of Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has said young people will not be keen to relocate abroad if they can thrive in the country. On the foreign scene, the Ukrainian capital, Kiev, has been targeted by further Russian air attacks, described by one official as exceptional in density. You can follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Western Spring Television. You can also watch us live on our YouTube channel at Western Spring Television. That ends Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. I am Pokwaya Muni. Thanks for watching.